My name is David Adix, and I was the judge for the experimental show for the Southern Arizona Watercolor Guild, and very honored to be asked to do this by my very good friend Marty White. So I was sent about 3 weeks ago. I was sent all the images of those that participated in this particular show, and I spent a lot of time with all the images, and based on the images that I saw that were entered, I decided what I would look for with the awards would be, first of all, I looked for a subtext, a deeper meaning than just the material that's on the surface. I look often to see if there's a narrative, if the artist created a story with their image. And I often will look for a piece, if there's a surprise, if there's an element of surprise or something that is maybe spontaneous, that makes a viewer wanting to go back to the image over and over and over. I think great pieces of art typically lend themselves to being viewed many, many times, and often there's always something new or something fresh you will see in a piece of art that has that particular excitement about it. So I guess I will start with the first piece, the Best of Show, which was called Self-Portrait with Drips. And I chose this for the Best of Show because I think in a way for me it's a real sign of the times. This artist, there's a self-portrait in there of her or them, with their chin up and sort of a smile that's a little bit forced maybe, and it's like, you know, in spite of myself, I'm gonna have my chin up and I'm gonna put a smile on my face and I'm gonna keep moving forward. And of course, over this whole portrait are all these scrapes and these drips, and it's like this interior monologue that's going on and maybe inside this person that's, you know, we're dealing with a lot of, you know, as a culture, as a global community, personally, we're dealing with so much right now with the COVID and you know, global warming and the political arena. I mean, choose your issue. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that we are facing as a community, as a culture, as a neighborhood, as a city. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it makes one stop and ponder and think about what's important and what's relevant. And so I really found that this piece was really had a bullseye with the period that we're living through. With we may have the facade of a smile and our chins up, but inside we're dealing with a lot of stuff. And so I felt that this particular artist really nailed it with what we're currently looking at in our world. So then, Award of Excellence, called Turbulence. I went back to this piece many times. Very moody. It's a very moody picture. of a sort of a layered skyscape landscape. What I appreciated about this painting is that you're not sure if you're looking at land, if you're looking at sky, if you're looking at layers of both sandwiched in between each other. I saw expression of El Greco in this painting. He painted very, very moody, turbulent backgrounds in his work with people in them. And this painting, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the real thing sometime, if you ever are so inclined. And this painting also is really effective. If you turn it upside down, it works just as beautifully. It's a whole different experience, but it's the kind of painting that you look at and it continues to move with the roiling of the clouds and the brooding darkness and the layers of cloud, and then we've got little strips of color coming in, which was quite brilliant, I thought. So that was Turbulence for the Award of Excellence. Good job with that. So then I had 2 awards that I was given, awards of merit, and I chose one called Frosty, and I thought this was really a very fine portrait of a kind of a crusty old man, who knows, a logger, a fisherman, and I just felt like it's the artist didn't overwork it. It's very kind of sparse with the amount of color and line he put in, and it's almost like this figure is kind of fading before our eyes. Frosty is kind of leaving us as we look at him. So I thought it was really a beautiful composition with the shirt and the spotting. It's almost like it's on a vellum, so you get that surfacey color, that texture, and it's just a real interesting character study. Frosty's got a story. So really appreciated Frosty. The other award of merit, Gift of Life. So talk about a sign of the times. Here we've got a young man sitting with a face mask, and he's absorbed into his device. And we think we were hooked on our devices before COVID hit us, which we were, but once COVID hit us, we really depended on our devices, our iPhones, our iPads, our computers. They became our link to the people, to our people, the people that we socialize with, to the people we work with, to the people we do everyday things with. And it was for 4, 5, 6 months, everybody depended on their handheld device to communicate with the outside world. And talk about, welcome to the 21st century. And so this painting, this watercolor, Gift of Life, with this young man, this gentleman sitting in a chair, absorbed in his device, probably an iPhone, with his mask, with a surgical mask. It's just a blue mask. It's not a designer mask, and he's lost in his own world. I think what really anchored this particular painting in for me was this beautiful arc that's around him, above his head. It's this yellow arc that's almost a protective cocoon aura that it just swirls about him over his head, and there's something very magical about that brush stroke, and it's very beautifully rendered. I also love the fact that this artist uses pretty much the three primary colors. You've got red tennis shoes, you've got a blue t-shirt, and then you've got that beautiful yellow arc hanging out over him. So, and he's seated and he's front and center, and you know, if I were to take a painting and put it into a time capsule and throw it out into space with the date of today's date, this would be the representative piece, perhaps, about what we're experiencing, what we're still experiencing. We're not out of COVID land yet. So I thought that was really a really great image of the sign of the times. So then we have two honorable mentions, and I chose one of the honorable mentions is a piece called Under New Mexico Skies. And this piece, I went back to and looked at it, and you know, I enlarged the image, and this piece really haunted me. It's obviously, to me, an indigenous person of North America, I would assume. I know it's an indigenous because of the dress. It's an indigenous person, and again, if you spend time with this painting, you see this person very isolated in a landscape, and whether it's a male or female, I can't be sure, but this person is looking out at the viewer, and very haunting look as this person looks at us, looking back at them. It's almost reminiscent of maybe even an Edvard Munch, who did a lot of troubling psychological paintings of people looking out at the viewer and asking a question or asking for something. I think this particular individual is, you know, whatever your understanding of the indigenous people of this country, it's been tough. It's been tough for them, and they live on the reservations, and they try and continue with their own cultures and their own ideologies and their own families. And I see this individual against this landscape, of course, which the indigenous people relied on the land for their sustainability. So I hope down the road that all these pieces can hang here in this gallery space, so you spend some time really looking at these paintings and these pieces of work, and especially this one, and seeing how this particular individual is looking out at the viewer, and there's a quality about it's a stun. They're stunned. They're caught in something, and it's quite disconcerting. This painting, to see this person looking at us. It's a beautiful, haunting, troubling painting, and that's why I chose it. And then I chose another honorable mention called Love and Life, which kind of is the antithesis of Under New Mexico Skies. This is a really fun watercolor. It's reminiscent of a very famous French artist, Modigliani, who did the beautiful elongated faces. Of course, his pieces are much more sober and serene. This is more of a contemporized, fun painting of a woman. There's a lot of great formality in this painting with the textures and the color scheme, and the use of the striped line and the big blue eyes that look like they could be batting at you. There's something about this particular watercolor painting portrait that's almost, it feels a little dated, like it could have been a poster of a 70s sitcom, like who were some of the women that were 70s sitcom icons, besides Mary Tyler Moore and Cloris Leachman and all these independent women who were finding their own independence in the early days or that period of television. I kind of hooked into that idea, but I think the composition is lovely, and the fact that this artist took the different textures and things of the scarf and repeated them into the flippy hairdo is quite lovely. So I thought it was really a very, very fun and fine composed piece. So bravo to all 6 of these artists. Really impressive. And I want to thank you for allowing me to judge this show. And I think that's it.